Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys checking today's video out. Got a really unique video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the technique of power cranking a deep diving crankbait in shallow water in the summertime of the year. This is sort of a niche type deal. A lot of guys in Oklahoma do this and not talk about it. And I'm going to share with you guys what to look for and how to do it, and sort of give you guys a little seminar on it. Real quick, guys, just want to remind you about our two of the things we got going on at Fish and Moment, our virtual lessons. You guys can book a one-on-one lesson with me anytime you want. We can go over anything about fishing, lakes, whatever. You can do that at fishandmoment.com. I'll put the link in the description. And also, we got our fall lake map breakdowns up on the website. If you guys are planning a fall fishing trip to one of the big lakes or any lake across the country, it's a great way to give you guys a foundation to have some good spots to start out on right off the bat. So I'll put both links in the description of this video. Much appreciated. Okay, guys. Actually, this was probably about 20 years ago, close to 20, maybe 15. A buddy of mine clued me in on this technique I'm going to tell you about here. He won a tournament down at Grand Lake in Oklahoma on it, and I've used it 4 or 5 times ever since then. A couple different situations where I've encountered them anywhere between like July and September for this technique. And what you're talking about, guys, is taking a deep diving crankbait like this Megabass Deep 6 here, which is my favorite one to do it in. Also, I'll put the Baitworks link in the description if you guys would like to try one of these. And it's power cranking this stuff in areas that you would normally never think to throw a deep diving crankbait. Now, most people, when you think about a deep diving crankbait, something like the Deep 6 that will actually hit 20 foot deep on like 10-pound line, they relegate it just for deep cranking, for cranking deep points and ledges, drop-offs and that type of stuff. But the technique that we're talking about here with the big crankbait, it's a power fishing technique with heavy line. So this particular technique, I put it on 25-pound test Seagarn Vizex line, usually put it on that Megabass launcher, which is a 7 foot 11-inch rod, and I'm throwing this thing on flat banks with it can have sand, it can have rock, it can have gravel, it can have mixed rock, anything like that. But off-colored water visibilities that are less than 3 feet deep, where you've got shallow, flatter cover on it. No wood. This thing does not work around wood. It will get hung up in a second. It's more of an open bank, like I said, rock, clay, gravel, that type of bottom there. All you do, guys, is a simple technique that if you are in an area that, say, you would normally throw a square bill, trying to hit that water depth between like 2 to maybe 4 or 5 feet, put on a deep diving crankbait like this. Color variations just depend upon your day, how bright or how dark the day is, water visibility, anything. I mean, I don't think the color is as important as the technique. But put it on that heavy line, get out there in those same areas that you're cranking the square bill, and throw this thing out there. Just make it, you don't have to make a very long cast because it gets down so quick. Point the rod tip straight at the lure and just burn it fast, stop and go like that, just burning it. And what you want to do is it's all about kicking up a mud trail or some type of debris trail. I mean, depending upon the bottom, it depends on what type of trail you're gonna leave. But when you burn this thing down to the bottom hard, like it hits the bottom hard, this lip is gonna be digging in to that bottom, even with the 25-pound test line. You're gonna be coming back, a lot of times you'll have mud and sand on the lip right here, your crankbait, but you're wanting to hit that thing real hard where it's fighting that bottom. And when you burn it on the bottom like that and you're knocking that bottom in 2 to 4 foot of water, it throws up this big mud trail behind the crankbait. Now, one of the reasons this works, guys, if you've ever done much wading in a creek, and I've done a lot of creek wading, if you're in a clear water situation and you got a creek that has a lot of fish in it, the next time you're there, take your feet and just and start rubbing your feet hard against the bottom, like try to kick up rocks and you're throwing up dust and sediment. When you do that, you will notice fish come immediately over to you. And the fish, I don't care if they're smallmouth bass or perch or whatever, they'll get right next to your feet. Now you can look down there and see them. They're trying to figure out what that dust cloud is, or maybe the dust cloud they think is kicking up some hellgrammites or crawdads, I'm not sure. But that's the same deal with this crankbait here. And that friend of mine won a tournament down there in August on Grand doing this technique, cranking this deep crankbait. He was using the DD22 at the time, but he was fishing that 2 to 4 foot zone with it, just kicking up those mud trails. But Anyway, guys, it's a hot water technique. It doesn't work any other time of the year. It's just another technique to add to your arsenal. You may or may not encounter a situation where it works, but it's always good to have new techniques in your back pocket. So thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys later. See you.